4:33 right now. Let's send things over to meteorologist Belen de Leon. I was looking at your map with those wind gusts, and we're starting to see them creep up, aren't we?
Yep. We had another round move in overnight, and this morning is when we're going to get the peak of it. After about the middle of the day, we'll slowly start to see winds increase. This is more of a typical Santa Ana wind event. Buenos dias, everyone. Here's what I've got for you on this Friday morning. Gusty right now through the Inland Empire, and the winds this time around have more of an easterly component. So even our friends in Anaheim are feeling those gusts right now up to 24 miles per hour. Windy through the San Fernando Valley, through the Newhall Pass, the I-5 corridor, and over the LA and Ventura County mountains. This is going to be day 4 of a red flag warning in effect for most of Southern California. We won't see these red flag conditions let up until we get into the afternoon, and then slowly humidity starts to increase. We've got dry conditions, windy weather this morning, and those winds are still fanning the flames and that smoke from the fires into other locations. So we're still going to deal with very challenging air quality today. Not only that, even if you're a distance from where the fires are burning, we're seeing ash being transmitted and transported as well. I know I found some of it on my car yesterday morning. You could be experiencing the same. So when you leave the house, make sure you bring a mask with you. Other than that, look at the current conditions. It's a cold morning up in the deserts. We've got 20s in Big Bear, 50s, 40s everywhere else. So a chilly morning. And here's what I've got for you this afternoon. Just a lot of smoke and still some residual wind. As we get into the afternoon, we'll see conditions improve. We'll have 60s and 70s. But I'm taking a look at the weather through the weekend and even through next week. No rain in sight, just more wind. I'll be back to time it out. Right now, we're checking on the drive and the commute. Here's Robin.
Yes, good morning. And as a reminder, the traffic lights are still out in some areas. Some neighborhoods are still dealing with power outages. I crossed a few intersections where the lights were dark or they were flashing. And remember, if you encounter that situation, you should treat it as a 4-way stop, as if you have a stop sign on both sides of the road. I saw so many people just blow through intersections that were completely dark, and you know that can definitely cause an accident. So be on the lookout and be extra cautious. Now, if you're hopping on Metro today, do expect delays and detours on a number of the routes related to the weather. They're still having issues with repairs and debris removal, all related to this wind event, especially for the A line. So if you're using the Metro A line traveling towards Southwest Museum, Highland Park, South Pasadena, and Fillmore, those lines will be replaced by free shuttles. So it's out of service right now. Shuttles are running in place to get you to and from this stretch, and the shuttles are free. In fact, all buses and rail trains are free today from Metro. They've suspended the fares throughout the entire system, so you don't have to worry about paying. We will check in on more closures. We'll keep you posted. Check with us before you leave the house. We are getting updates. Some lanes and off-ramps are opening, and then we have more closures coming up, so we'll definitely keep you posted. Lynette, Adrian, back to you.
All right, Robin, thank you for that.
We're seeing some powerful gusts right now. We got another day that we got to be concerned about these fires flaring up and expanding.
That's right. Unfortunately, we're not done with that danger, and there's already been a lot of damage. It's wonderful to see so many people open their hearts and try and show up for our community, because we really need it. You know, CAL FIRE has already deemed the Pacific Palisades fire the most destructive fire in Los Angeles, at 5,300 structures lost. Well, that could also make the list for top California most destructive fires, and here's a list of them. The Camp Fire is at the top. That was in November of 2018 when 18,000 structures were lost. The Tubbs Fire in 2017, we lost 5,600 structures then. So we're expecting, unfortunately, for the Palisades fire to make this list, and that number could grow as damage assessments continue. Again, that's according to CAL FIRE. How did we get here? Of course, those strong destructive winds, but also it's been a very dry start to the water year across Southern California. Little to no rainfall has come our way since October the 1st, when the water year started. And for a few cities, it's already been the driest start for them on record, like Riverside and Anaheim, and unfortunately no significant rain is in the forecast. We have some strong winds this morning. We had another round move in yesterday, and it's continuing until this morning. I want to show you when these winds are going to drop off. We take a look at the wind map, and you'll notice it's the first half of the day when this wind map is activated. Around lunchtime, those winds are going to start to back off. In fact, from now through about the middle of the day, the winds will gradually diminish, and as we get into the afternoon, we're looking at much better conditions around 5 p.m. So better travel conditions as we head into the afternoon. That red flag warning is in place until 6 p.m. and we have high wind warnings in effect until that time as well. So until that time, travel could be a bit challenging, but as we head into the afternoon, we'll have better commuting conditions. Here we are tomorrow morning. We have a break. Still a bit breezy through the I-5 corridor out towards the Grapevine and also the deserts. And then watch what happens Saturday afternoon. We're going to have a few gusty spots as we get into Sunday. Those winds are expected to activate once again. So the windy weather, unfortunately, is going to stick around. A break on Saturday, then strong winds on Sunday, and a heads up next week, Monday through Wednesday. We could see the return of those potentially damaging winds. Remember that setup where we had that storm really close to us? That's the reason why we had these really strong winds. That's moving away from us. We'll have a typical Santa Ana wind event on Sunday, but then we're going to have a similar weather pattern to what we had earlier this week that could potentially bring damaging winds once again for early next week. So the First Alert Weather Team will keep an eye on that for you. Right now, let's get another check of the drive. Hi, Robin.
Hi, Belen. Good morning. We want to talk about mass transit because things are going to be a little different for those of you hopping on Metro today for the bus lines and the rail line. I want to mention that lines 180 and 217 will be detoured. So if you're traveling anywhere between Los Feliz, San Fernando, Vermont, and Prospect Avenue, they are detouring all of those bus lines because of downed power lines. But in addition to that, if you are using buses and rail service today, it's going to be free because of all the wildfire activity. So please keep that in mind. That is an option for you if you don't want to drive. Also, because of fire activity, we have lines 134 and 602 completely canceled. So you're going to have to find an alternate source of transportation. Once again, bus line 134, 602 canceled today. Please plan ahead, but service will be free for all the other lines moving today. It's going to be different for the A line. If you're hopping on this morning, keep in mind if you're traveling anywhere toward the Southwest Museum area, Highland Park, South Pasadena, and Fillmore, those lines have been canceled and replaced by shuttles. The shuttles are free, but you need to pay close attention to any announcements being made, and you need to get out there as early as possible because you will experience delays because of these reroutes. They are working on repairs and removing debris from the track. So we just want to give you a heads up if you're hopping on mass transit. If any major traffic problems pop up, I'll definitely pass it along, but it's going to be pretty light and quiet on the roads today with so many folks staying home and schools closed. Adrian, back to you.
All right, Robin, thank you. And if you'd like to help while